For me, Missions Fest has been like a giant reunion of the Lower Mainland church family. I know it's got a lot more than that, but over the 25 years that I've attended Missions Fest, it's always reminded me of a big reunion of the family of God.
What is it about that reunion that was so special?
I think even the beginning of Missions Fest, our church was one of the founding churches that together said, the local church wants to do something together to equip our people. And so from the very beginning, there was this feeling of the churches working together in harmony and unison across all kinds of denominational lines. And I just think that's been such a positive history for the Lower Mainland, and it's had an effect around the world of influencing other church gatherings and other Missions Fest similar events around the world, as well as the goal of Missions Fest itself, to equip the people of God and to send people out. And so that big family reunion has been a great experience for so many people and so many organizations working together.
That point about collaboration, I want to read you a quote and get your thoughts on this. We are cognizant that world missions is not the top item on church agendas. Churches often focus exclusively on growing their own churches. Since missions to the world is out of sight, it is often out of mind. Is that still the case, do you think?
No, I think it's changed. I think the actual terminology of missions has changed to, and in a healthy way, it's changed from a focus on missions as something out somewhere else to missions is a focus on every Christian's responsibility to their coworker, to their neighbor, to their family members. And so there has been a shift, but there was also a time when I think what we called missions had become pendulum swing towards humanitarian aid, and that's important also, but I think it's a confusion of the mission of bringing the gospel to people who don't know. And so here in the Lower Mainland, we have such a low number of Christian, like such a low percentage of Christian people, that in many ways I think of our mission field around us as every bit as important as the mission field in many nations around the world. I think the prosperity that we're surrounded by here has caused people to forget God, and yet their souls need God. They need God. And so I'm actually pleased to see that the church and the churches that I work with in the city really are focused on the Great Commission and the mission in their neighborhood, in their members thinking about who are you connected to that doesn't know Jesus. And so the face of missions, maybe the terminology has changed, but I certainly don't think the church has dropped it. I think it's in the front of people's minds as far as reaching the lost. But the globalization of everything has changed.
This is we're celebrating 39 years now of Missions Fest, Mission Central. What is, as you think back over all the years that you've attended the conference, what is one memory that stands out to you the most?
Well, for me, it was often representing our school in the big exhibition hall and just meeting so many people. I did attend main sessions, and some of the keynote speakers, from 15 years ago, famous people, Don Richardson, I remember him speaking, and George Verwer and different ones like that who just had a wonderful life story, Jackie Pullinger. But a lot of my time personally was spent representing our private school and meeting the people who were coming through and just catching up with old alumni and working with other organizations who were represented there and getting to know what their ministry was. And out of that, we've gotten connected to youth camps in the area, different organizations that are offering their ministry in the area. And so reconnecting with them at Missions Fest was always an important time.
And we talked about that reunion, having that sense of, reunion kind of coming together at Missions Fest. Are you going to miss that?
Yes. I hope that something takes its place. I will miss that, and I'm looking for something that has the effect of capturing a wide group of churches in something we do together in the kingdom. And so I do hope that something takes the place of that.
Why do you think that's so important?
I think it's important for the non-Christian world around us to know that Christians are on the same page, that they serve the same Lord, they have the same united love for one another. This is probably too long for the video, but why is it so important? I think years ago, I remember stepping out of my office and seeing somebody reading the sign of the 1920s name of our church. And I stepped out and introduced myself and asked him, and he was nervous, and he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trespassing." I said, "No, you're welcome here. But I noticed you're reading the sign. What's your story?" And he went on to tell me that he had grown up in a bunch of different foster homes. And during that time, he was in 15 to 20 different foster homes, but there was one family that was Christian. And he says, now I'm like 25 years old, and I'm thinking they had something, and I need to find a church. And then he said, but it's so difficult. I said, well, why is that? Well, there's so many. How do you know which one is right? And so to explain to him that virtually all the churches you're looking at have the same Jesus, the same Bible, the same story that Jesus forgives our sins. And this relief went over his face as he realized that, oh, they're just a bunch of different families, but they all have the same God. And so I think it's important for the church to be known in the Lower Mainland as one common faith that loves Jesus and has the same basic beliefs. I think that sends a strong message to the city.